I charge across the finish line and I hear my coach's accolades behind me. Hey, good work, Pranav. They're calling out my name, trying to make me feel better. But instead of that, instead of feeling a sense of pride for having finished, I just feel confused. It wasn't supposed to be like this. When I started this race, I thought I was ready. I'd put in my training, I put in the work, and I was ready to destroy this race. Yet, I underperformed. I placed last in my division, I placed last overall. My goals were completely different, I failed to achieve them. Overall, the entire thing was a bit of a failure. And from there, as I walked back to my bag, kind of feeling heavy-hearted, I realized I had a choice. Yes, it was a failure, but how was I going to respond to it? My first option was, hey, I could treat it like an unlucky day, blaming it on things outside of my control, and just not make any effort to change what I was currently doing. And while tempting, while that would feel good, while that would vindicate my emotions, the second option was to face it head on. To ask myself the difficult question of, what went wrong and why? What do I need to fix for the next race? And as difficult as it was, I asked myself that question. To ask myself, what went wrong with my failure? Why did I fail? And how am I going to learn from this? How am I going to take my control back to ensure it does not happen again? Because, yeah, by every metric, this race was a failure. But every failure has something to teach you, and I want to use this opportunity to learn. You can only get defeated if you think that you cannot come back from your failure. If you treat your failure as an indication of who you are, and you give up from there. If you want to improve, if you want to learn and become better for your mistakes, you gotta learn from it. You gotta ask yourself, how can I improve because of this failure? Right? If a bone breaks, you put it back and it heals back stronger where it snapped. This is the same thing with your failures. Yeah, it hurts. It tested you. You messed up and you didn't achieve your standard. But if you learn from this failure, you will be stronger in that weak area. And the way to do this, it's not complicated. You do an after action report. I'll go over it with you. Literally, I had in my race, I came last in my division and last overall. So I wrote down the result of my failure. From there, I asked myself, what went well? Even within this failure, even with this bad quiz, whatever it may be. What went well? Ask yourself this question. Maybe you got a difficult question right. For me, I ended up finishing the race even though I did not want to. Even though I knew I was last. Even though I wanted to quit. I still finished. Right? I asked myself what went well. And from there, I asked myself what went wrong. Shoe came untied early on. Felt weak for most of the race. My shoes weren't right. My muscles had shrunk. I was breathing through my mouth, etc. I listed out everything that went wrong within my race as a way to gain awareness of what my problems were. I thought back to my failure and just examined everything that went wrong within that moment, within my race. Yeah, my shoes came untied, I didn't feel strong, whatever. I wrote it all out because that allowed me to move on to the final step, which is my attack plan. Yeah, my shoes came untied early on in the race, so my attack plan is to double tie my shoes going into my next race. I felt weak, so now I'm going to implement weight training 2 times a week. Right? I felt like I wasn't strong enough, so I'm going to also eat some more food to regain lost weight. I'm going to research proper shoes to run in so my feet don't hurt while I am racing. The list goes on, but you get the idea. If you want to learn from your failures, you just need the mindset to think, I have something to learn from this, and then you need to make a plan. Write down the result of your failure. Write down something that could be improved, something that you did well within your failure, right? Something that was good. Then from there, write down everything that went wrong within this failure and your attack plan going forwards. That is all you need as an action plan, as a framework to start learning from your mistakes. Because what else does it take? You just need to do it, reflect on it, jot it down, and then do better next time. It does not need to be complicated. Don't make it complicated. You are not a failure for having failed. So, thank you for watching. I hope you got some value out of this video. And if you enjoyed it, consider subscribing. But have a good one. Peace!